All right, this is going to be a quick one. Let's talk about how to pour a beer properly. Now, dissolved into a can of beer is a gas called carbon dioxide. It's a very, very common gas on Earth, and we like it because it makes things bubbly when we put it in drinks. It's also in soft drinks. But when you open a can, the pressurization that the liquid is under then goes to atmospheric pressure, which is going to be lower than what's in the can. And when that happens, the bubbles will start to come out of the solution. They'll start to come out of the beer, and it will then begin to bubble. So when you pour it into a glass, you can knock loose a lot of that carbon dioxide gas by pouring it roughly. So think about it. If you do a turbulent pour, we're using some aerospace terms. Turbulent flow is when the medium, say air or beer or any kind of liquid or gas, is flowing in a shaky way. If you do that with beer, when you pour it, the bubbles are going to come out way faster because they're kind of being shaken out of the solution. If you have a laminar pour, so it flows in a manner which is adhering to a surface, kind of like air flowing over a wing, then it's much less disturbed. So that's why when you pour beer down the side of the glass, it has a laminar flow and the bubbles are not going to come out as much because the solution, the gas that is dissolved into the beer, is not getting jostled around as much. Now that's about as much science as I want to put in a video about pouring a beer, but let's talk about the art of it. You want a little bit of foam at the top. My sweet spot for foam on a beer is just under an inch of it. And you can really control that as you pour the beer. If you pour it in a very laminar, gentle way down the side of the glass, the bubbles won't come out as much and you won't have as much of a head building up. So if it's pretty flat when you're up to about 2/3 of the way poured, you can then turn the beer can up instead of pouring it down the side of the glass and get a lot more bubbles out that way with the last bit of the beer. So you kind of want to monitor this. This is something that happens subconsciously once you're pretty good at this, but you want to kind of monitor it as you pour. All right, let's pour our beer here. Nice smooth pour, not a lot of bubble buildup here. So now about 2/3 poured out, I will then turn the beer can right up like that, and it will create a nice head there. And sometimes it drips down the side, but you learn as you go. Okay, so that is a pretty much perfectly poured beer. You saw as soon as we went from laminar flow to turbulent flow as we were pouring, that it really changed how much the bubbles came out of the beer. Now, this is why I like drinking beer out of a glass, because as the carbon dioxide comes out of solution and pops right here in your face, right here at the top of your cup, it's also releasing the scent of the beer as well. You don't really get that as much when you drink from a can because there just isn't going to be as many bubbles popping in your face. This is why I drink beer from a glass. It's my favorite way to do it. And now I'm going to go do some sweeping, some cleaning of the house. I like to have a beer nearby that I can pick up and sip while I'm doing my Sunday chores. I hope y'all are having a great day. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all. Please subscribe. Let me know what you think. Is this how you pour a beer? Do you prefer it from a can? Or do you even like beer? I'm interested. Leave me a comment.